Welcome, guys and gals, back to the Barry Charles Footy Show, your one-stop shop for everything rugby league. And today you're going to get it all. Yes, fresh off a great weekend of football. But the big news out there is Ryan Papenhuyzen about to leave the Melbourne Storm, or is it all hoopla? Um, Daniel Saifiti supposedly take a pay cut to keep Jacob Saifiti, his brother, at the club. And of course, we're going to talk about the Kiwis Samoa game and Fiji Bati nearly upset by the Cook Islands in what was a great game, but obviously disappointing for Samoa. And Shane Flanagan, of course, says he's not going to panic buy as they go towards the big thing. And Des Hasler believes the Titans can be a top team in 2024. Let's talk about it all right here, right now, at the Barry Charles Footy Show. Yes, big talk out of the weekend is Ryan Papenhuyzen is set to be signed somewhere else. This is actually true or absolute a joke because of the emergence of Falogo. I think it might be all hoopla out there, but that doesn't mean it might not happen in 2025. Whether it happens in 2024, I'm not sure. But if he continues to be injury prone, it might be time for him to say, see you later. A bit like Tommy Turbo, the same issue they're having there as well as whether they should keep him longer term. So, yeah, to me, it's an interesting one. Obviously, it'll free up some salary cap space, but is Farlog ready to go week in, week out? It's debatable. We know how young guns happen, but sometimes they do boost on the scene like Reece Walsh. So I can understand that. And Nick Meaney did a solid job there in his absence. So it's going to be an interesting talking point. And if it continues to drag on, we will see if it's any truth to the rumour there. But which club was it? That's the interesting one. Who do you think, if we're going to put a hypothetical there, which club would you think, out of all the clubs wanting a fullback, who would agree to sign him? Well, let's go through it. Broncos, no show. I'm trying to go through Gold Coast Titans. I wouldn't think so. Just on who they already got. The Dolphins, yes, but I don't think it's them. The Dragons, yes, but I don't think it's them. The Cowboys, yeah, don't think it's them. I think it's let's put it this way, I think it's a New South Wales team. Warriors, definitely not. The Tigers would love to have him. The Bulldogs would love to have him. The Roosters, definitely not with James Tedesco. The Rabbitohs, can't see it there unless you're going to put Latrell Mitchell back to centre. I don't think that Rabbitohs would have the money anyway, so I don't think it's the Rabbitohs. Who else am I missing? The Penrith Panthers, no chance there. But Cronulla Sharks, that's an interesting one. Maybe it's the Sharkies. Newcastle Knights, no. Canberra Raiders, possibility. Mainly Seagulls, injury for another injury, I don't see. Parramatta, maybe? I'm starting to get a bit more interested in Parramatta, actually. Wow. I know they got King Guffo, but they could put him to centre. I would say, out of the list here, I'd say it'd be either Parramatta or Sharks, if I'm going to put it. West Tigers, Bulldogs, Dragons, of course would love to have. Don't get me wrong. Possibility Bulldogs, maybe. Bulldogs could definitely go for him as well. He would be a good. He would know when Crichton Breton could play centre and work out on the rest of them. That's a possibility, but I'm trying to think on who would have the money under the table and doing it. Tigers, Bulldogs, and obviously Dragons. All three of them would have the money to afford them, no doubt about it. Bulldogs, that would be my top of that list. But if I'm looking at teams that are already in the premiership windows here, I think you'd have to look at the Sharks and Parramatta. Because Parramatta were talking about wanting to move Guffo and finding a fullback to give themselves a bit more leeway there, so that would be an option. And obviously the Sharkies, they just need some help with Nico Hines there. If there's a relationship there, I'm not sure. Or obviously been at the Storm before. Maybe Ryan Papenhuyzen goes there. Those are the two teams I would say would be would be the ones he talked to. Maybe the Bulldogs. I can't see them being the Tigers or Dragons for sure. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if this is true, the rumours is true, what club it is. That's my theory. It's either, I got 3. Bulldogs is definitely an opportunity, but I'm thinking realistically, in terms of teams that had chances of being a grand finalist, it would be the Sharks and Parramatta. Of the teams that really do need a fullback and premiership chances, that would be the 2 I'd be looking at if it was me for Ryan Papenhuyzen. Well, I didn't think that was going to take so long to talk about Ryan Papenhuyzen, but hey, when you get on a roll, you get on a roll. Daniel Saifiti, looking to maybe take a pay cut to allow his brother Jacob to re-sign with the Knights. Interesting play there, but those 2 players have had a disappointing season. They want them to get another level, and you would expect more. And talks Shane Flanagan is not going to panic buy. He thinks he can do a lot with the squad he's already got. He's only going to buy players that are going to improve his team. And it was interesting to hear Josh Adokar felt that Shane Flanagan didn't like his play, and maybe he's looking for a bit more control players like Ben Hunt, for instance. So that's the way he likes to play. Paul Gallen and the like. So doesn't really like the flashy players, which it's going to be interesting to see how Talagai goes this season, because they could be one player that could be shipped out the door because he might not fit into the style of play that he likes to play. Yes, so interesting talks around that as well. But yes, let's get to the games on the weekend. The Kiwis absolutely demolished Samoa. So Ben Gardner, for me, is not the coach going forward. From those 2 games, clearly to me shows he's not up to it. For what I've seen, obviously Jerome Luai is a class player. They're missing out Jerome Luai, but to lose 50-0, Crichton was a mistake at 6 in my opinion. It was just craziness. Yeah, just very disappointing. I mean, there's no doubt Kiwis were going to win this game all day long, but to lose 50-0. 30-0 would have been more of a precise, but at least 50-0, it just shows there's no respect for Ben Gardner, in my opinion. But on the other side, Jermaine Osaka continues his great form, absolutely playing great football. Ronald Militano did his thing as well. I saw Papali'i in a good team, looks like a much better player. When you got James Fisher-Harris and Moses Leoto as your props, wow. And NSA and NAS on the bench, wow, it's something to withhold. So a very good forward pack here. Joey Money one on being super high at his best. You got Charles Nickel standing at the back. I mean, the back line doesn't sound that great compared to Australia, but Australia's probably not as strong as what people were thinking. Because you wouldn't think Selwyn Cobbo, Tony Staggs, Dylan Edwards, if everyone was fully fit, when you got Latrell Mitchell, Turbo, Josh Adokar suspended, they would all be in this team. So it's not exactly saying they've got the strongest team either, Australia. They've got depth, no doubt about it, but they probably haven't got their strongest team on the park as well. So there is a chance that the Kiwis could beat them going forward. But yeah, to win 50-0 outstanding. It seems like Samoa were more into their war cry instead of the actual game, and were very, very disappointing. But Carmichael Hunt nearly pulled off the upset with the Cook Islands. Yes, they absolutely gave it a red-hot go against Fiji, but Fiji got it done at the end. But what does that say? Can Fiji get to another level to beat Papua New Guinea? That'll be a question mark. But it's going to be the same as the Kiwis. They will play the same team twice. So there will be some changes in both squads, I assume, going into before the big one. Dream Buller and Taruva, they did quite well. But what my favourite part of the weekend was all the absolute cheering for Mike Kaseva every time he got the ball. They were absolutely going nuts for him. Absolutely, it was great to see. And he could have set up a beautiful try, but he dropped it, a forward pass, all that stuff, but he eventually got a try, so the fans got to see him score a try. So I thought that was one of the great parts of the weekend. But yeah, Asian Masters, wow, turning back the clock. He was a little bit of a gun back in the day, but didn't quite go to that next level and sort of became a park football player. But to set up 2 tries and score a try, he was probably the man of the match. and a losing team. They're very, very good. But yes, it's great to see football at Port Moresby and PNG. And going forward with PNG, where do we see it all going forward with this? I'm going to talk about it soon. I'm going to do another video very shortly to talk about all that and see where I see the future of the game. Have a great day out there.